Hey, it's Don, the auction professor here. Today we're going to talk about another item that sells for some insane amounts of money. It's vintage movie posters. They don't have to be super old, but they have to be unique and interesting. Let's hop over there right now and show you some of these crazy prices. So here we are with movie posters. Now, I worked at a movie theater for almost 3 years when I was younger, when I was a teenager. And I used to get the movie posters from the theater usually, especially the ones that I was really interested in. I had them all over my walls as a kid. So I really do enjoy the whole aspect of movie posters. Now, they have to be original. They have to be released by the company that made the movie or the National Screen Service, the NSS. So that's just some key factors I look for. Now, this one here has an NSS, National Screen Service number, which is what you expect. To know if it's real, on most of the posters, you look at the number on the bottom right-hand side. And this one has 51-494, which means that in 1951, this was the 494th film released. And that's how you can kind of judge on the reality of it, plus the size. Most full-size posters are 27-41. Now, this is a half sheet, so the size can vary slightly on this one. $2,562. The classic, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Now, here's Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman. This is from Notorious. Very good Hitchcock film if you haven't seen it. 1946 original. Now, most of these you're going to find folded, or they're going to be mounted on linen, or they could be rolled, but I really doubt you'll find many rolled ones from this day that are still in good condition. $2,550. These are all legitimate sales. Posters go incredibly well. Some posters in the past have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's say like a Frankenstein from the original first release of the movie, or Dracula with Bela Lugosi, or something like that. Some of those go for some insane amounts of money, especially the Universal monsters. Those just go for a ton. Now, here's a German version of Dr. No. This is what you would want to find. The foreign versions in some cases are harder to come by than the US versions. And in some cases, the graphics are something they would have never used over here in this country. And this is a really good example. $3,000 for this one here. Now, here's a Batman one from the original first ever Batman movie from 1966 starring Adam West. Really nice example here. This one's linen backed. They're graded as well, just like a comic book, C9 to C10. Condition is everything. Linen backed is a huge process, so most anything that's linen backed is worth into the hundreds, if not more, for almost anyone you will run across. Something you may not find everywhere, but at auctions and estate sales, these do show up occasionally. Knowing the difference between a real one and a fake one is key, of course. Now, here's Invasion of the Saucer Men, a classic one-sheet. This is linen-backed as well. Just one of those tremendously great examples of the sci-fi of the 50s. Love this one here personally. It's exaggeration, it's horror, it's classic. It's just a really good example. $3,383. 27 bids on this one here. Tarzan Escapes. Now, this one's one that cost the studios the most amount of money. It had a lot of graphics and horror relations to it that weren't well accepted. This one went for $3,995. Linen-backed as well, which is what you would expect. Usually it obliterates much of the creasing, but they still do touch these up also. So linen ones are what you really want, or obviously a great condition, original, untouched one also. But those just don't show up very often. Now, here's Casablanca. Now, here's an original one. This one's been preserved as well. It's been mounted and basically taken care of. This is a 3-sheet. It's a very large size poster. The sheet designation usually has a confined amount of inches that it can be to qualify for that type of sheet. Like a double sheet is 40-60. That's a 2-sheet. A single is 27-41. Now, they could run horizontal or vertical. It just depends on the specific sheet itself. So anyway, really nice example here. The Thing, a classic horror. It's been remade twice now. The Kurt Russell version is one of my favorites. Newer one's just okay, but the Kurt Russell one is my favorite out of all the 3 that are out there. Really nice original one. This is one I had not seen before, so it's rather interesting in my book. In the original one, the Thing was, I think, a plant-based being. Obviously, they switched it all up into the second one, and the third one kind of continues off from the story of the second one. Really nice example, $2,500. You can see the issues it has. It has some creasing and some other issues, some damage and some lost pieces, but it's still just a rare poster. I have not seen this one before, this poster. War and Peace, Audrey Hepburn, Henry Fonda. Really nice one here. This is a 24 sheet. This would have been like in a subway station or on a billboard. This is from 1956. Now, these don't go as high as some of the one sheets in some aspects just because it's hard to display something this big. You need a whole wall with nothing more than this on it, or you're buying it for a collectible piece, which most people want to display these. Some people would be surprised at the size and such forth on this not going for more, but again, the large ones are hard to display. The most popular size are one sheets, 27 by 41. Now here's Elvis Presley King Creole. It's a really nice one, $2,000. Now this is a 6 sheet, and they rate it at 81 inches by 81 inches. It's a fairly large sheet. Very scarce indeed. Elvis posters in general are hard to come by. Finding a legitimate one with everything you need on it, it's really a tough one. $2,000 on this one. Next one, Abbott and Costello, another 6 sheet, 81 by 81 again, $2,000. Abbott and Costello posters are fairly scarce, so most everyone I see goes for some decent money. Now here's from The Italian Job, the original Italian Job. Michael Caine is the lead role in this one here. I like this movie. It's a good movie. I hadn't seen this specific version of the poster, but most of these posters you'll see, there's multiple versions that do look different. Towards the end here, we're going to show you a whole bunch of different Star Wars posters, just to give you an idea of the variety and types that are out there. Some Blondes Are Dangerous. This is a classic 30s deco poster. The painting on this is just incredible. A really nice example. Even if you don't know the artists or the performers in here, the artwork, the stylization is just incredible on this one here. This is linen backed as well. Been touched up a little bit, but just a spectacular poster. $1,595. Blade Runner, another, a rolled, and they even list NSS, National Screen Service. That means there's a number written on the bottom right-hand corner over here of this film from 1982. And the number is going to start with 82- for a poster like this. Now, this one here is a rolled original. It's not linen-backed. It's just paper, just as it was issued. Most posters back in the day were folded and sent in the mail that way. Out of all the posters I ever got from the theater when I worked there for those many years, I only got 1 or 2 that were rolled. This is just a perfect example. $1,595 is pretty high for this one, in all honesty. But again, it's rolled, it's excellent, it's mint condition, it's from a known reputable dealer. Logan's Run, same example, 1 sheet rolled original from the same dealer. Now, I remember all these when they came out. This was a big hit just a few years before Star Wars hit the scene. So this was a predecessor to the Star Wars market. Really nice one here. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Pumping Iron, one of his first early films. Now, this one's fairly scarce. There's a couple versions of this one as well. $1,595. You can see the folds. Someone may mount this on linen at the end of the day. Who knows? But that's a lot to invest in a poster. But again, the scarcity on this one dictates the price. Now, here's an original Jaws, linen-backed, 1975. Now, it says A. There's different versions of each poster. There's advanced ones and A, B, C, D campaigns, so they change quite often, the different stylizations. Before the movie came out, there was what was called a teaser and then an advance. Sometimes the teaser would just say the name of the movie, and that's it. And we'll show you a few teasers in just a minute here. Now, that one was $1,305. This is a Japanese version of the same poster, $4,295. Reputable dealer on this one. It has been linen-lined as well. So, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, a 1954 Argentinian movie poster. These foreign ones are insanely scarce. This one has been linen-backed, I do believe, as well. It's an original, very interesting poster. $1,300 on this one. Now, here's Orson Welles' Citizen Kane. Now, this is a window card. It's much smaller, maybe 24 by 36 at most. It's considered a poster. It was ordered just like you would a poster. So these are rather interesting and unique ones as well. You can just kind of see the whole aspect of it here. It has the rest of the information at top. They've just kind of cropped it like I do, the zoom-in aspect of it. Nice example, though, $1,255. Most anything from Citizen Kane goes for a lot of money, so... Now, one of the all-time classic horror movies is Godzilla. the king of all monsters. And this one as well has NSS numbers, National Screen Service. A nice early piece. Now this is just the bomb for Godzilla collectors. Isn't as good as the original Japanese poster from this, but still a very scarce poster. $1,250. Nice Cagney one. This is an original Angels with Dirty Faces. It has been lined as well. Just a really nice example. This is a classic if you didn't know. If you haven't seen it, even for a black and white movie, it still holds up very well to this day. Another Cagney White Heat. Another really nice example of the gangster mob mentality of the day. Just really nice example here. $1,000 on this one. This is probably one of the best images for him on the poster-wise, I would say. He's got that defiant look on him. Really nice example. Them, a very classic one. Giant ants and the whole works. If you haven't seen this movie, this is another one of those classic sci-fis that you shouldn't miss. At least see it once in your lifetime. $1,250. 55 different bids on this one here. Star Wars Revenge of the Jedi. The movie title was originally called Revenge of the Jedi, and I have a snippet poster from Empire that announced the release of the movie that says Revenge of the Jedi. We'll show you a Star Wars version of that in a minute here, but there was very few of these released, and these are very scarce. I've only had a couple of these in my entire life. One was way back in the day when they first came out. I sold it before they got up in high price, so I didn't get much money out of it all. The last one we did sell, but for some decent money at least. So almost $900 for the last one that we had. Really nice example of this. Now, some posters will not have the National Screen Service. They'll have something like this, the Revenge of the Jedi teaser poster. This is a teaser poster. That's all this is. Just telling you it's coming out and it's continuing with no other information. Nobody who's in it's marked or anything like that. That's usually a teaser. Advanced sometimes will say a little more information on them. Now here's the D style of the original Star Wars movie. This is my favorite version of all of the Star Wars posters that were out there. This is it. It reminds me of a poster tacked up on a wall, and that's the look they were going for. Very interesting poster. This is fairly scarce. $995 for this one. These were made in mass quantity back in the day, don't forget. Now here's an 82 version of Star Wars with a Revenge of the Jedi. It's called a snippet at the bottom. Now I have an Empire Strikes Back poster from the same year with that same snippet on it, which I've kept in my collection. They're not worth a fortune. $189 for this one. This one's a give or take. It's not as good as having a Revenge of the Jedi poster, but it still says Revenge of the Jedi on a Star Wars poster. So this is the second best thing you can get. Really nice example. They re-release these posters over and over again, and the numbering scheme on most of these will have an R in front of it for the date, as you can see on this one here. So that's how you designate whether it's a re-release. You can check the date as well. So the number on this one by the National Screen Service is R82. So this is a re-release in 1982, and it's film 106 for that year. Original Star Wars, again, this is Style C, another one of the very famous styles. Hildebrandt did the artwork on this one. Well-collected artist. If you don't know who Hildebrandt is, look them up. They're two brothers, Greg and Tim. I've followed them for years, since the 70s. I've got many items from them as well. Hildebrandts are just awesome artists. They did a lot of recreations on books. So this is one of the most popular posters. You can tell by the price on this one. This is one of the more sought-after ones. I do like the D version better, but this is a nice poster. $3,795. This is linen-backed, well-preserved, and well taken care of. Just an excellent example of this poster. Now here's another advance, but this one's just for Star Wars before it came out. $2,000. Coming to your galaxy this summer. This is one of the first posters that you would have seen in a theater anywhere advertising the movie. So this is just a really excellent example. This one does not show up very often at all. I have never seen one of these in person before. The other ones I have run into in person, but not this one. This is the one that I might have to keep if I ran into one. Really nice example at $2,000. Now this one was recalled because of its similarity to the Gone with the Wind posters. Now I don't know if there was a legal aspect of it, but from what I do remember, this one was recalled in the theaters and they re-released the modern version of what you see from Empire Strikes Back. Either way, it's a linen lined, very excellent example of this, finely painted details on this. Just a real nice example. But that's what I have for you today. Well, there you are. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and some thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell a friend.